Alrighty, guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory Update 8 with Lone Debater 7. And today, we're going to kind of take a look at what I built since the last episode. It's mostly just cosmetic and transport type stuff, but we're going to look at it nonetheless. And then we're also going to tackle our first oil build. So I went out in between last episode and this episode. I went out and found some oil. If you're new to the channel and haven't seen the last episode yet, be sure to check it out. I should have something in the right corner of the video with the link to the playlist. Be sure to subscribe as well. Really helps me out. Drop a like too if you are enjoying the content, like the series, etc. It really helps me out. Also, drop a comment if you have a question. I'll do my best to answer it and take into consideration any feedback. But anyway, guys, let's go. So I have hypertubes connecting the heart of our base, or basically our like primary storage area, the hub, everything like that. So the hub area of our base. And then up at the top of our ramp, so we have our little platform up here that we built pretty early on in the series. It was maybe episode 2 or 3 when we started this. Not the whole thing, but like the first row, and maybe the second row is an episode as well, I believe. But I filled in a decent amount of this platform just to try and have some space to walk around and maybe build some things. But I have a truck station with coal being loaded in as fuel, so I can fuel trucks from this end. This station basically is going to be an unload station. It's going to have items dropped into this station and then be ported into this box. This is what's going to happen. Ultimately, I'm going to link up a tractor route between this station and our oil build. It's a pretty far away location. Like, there's a long tractor ride ahead to map out that. So I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to maybe in between this episode and the next one, or maybe we'll do an episode for it. I don't know. Haven't decided. But then we've got this point go through. So I'm using basically green on my hypertube entrances. Means that's a tube that takes me to home base. And then this other end is like a brown color or something like that to represent oil. Just to keep it, I guess it's kind of a gray. It's a gray color. I don't know. That's fine. But this is an oil line, meaning if I take this tube, it'll get me to the oil station. That'll probably change at some point. I don't know. Or it'll remain the same. It doesn't really matter. But I'm doing that to try to keep straight which entrance to go into to get to the part of the factory I want to get to. But I have various breaks along this pathway to go out and explore because I haven't explored over here yet. I just built this. So it's 2 wide, 1 meter foundations. We're using the big power poles with the platform to string out our power because we need it to run the oil refineries and all of that stuff. Then we come down here. This is the descent into where the oil is actually located. And at the bottom of this ramp, we come into this room. And then here's the bottom of the ramp that then goes up. So we have the truck station built over here. This is our fuel box. This is going to be the box to load this truck. So I can actually link that up. Thought I had this linked already, but that's okay. Plug this into there, and you know what? We can do the same thing like that. Cool. So now we just need to put fuel into this box, which I'd like to use packaged fuel for this end, and ultimately that's what I'm going to do. Then I can remove the coal that's up at the base side and start using packaged fuel to run the trucks. So this box is going to be plastic and rubbers, what we're putting in there. Fantastic. But I have this factory floor built. This is our entry point. This has crude oil in it that is being gathered from two impure oil nodes with oil extractors. So one of them is tapped right there, and then the second one is right there. There's a third one pretty close by, but I'm just going to do the two until I get the plastic I need to be able to package the oil. So there's all this. It's full because, yeah, I set up the oil extraction a while ago, just putting it into this container. I haven't built any of the refineries yet because I wanted to show you guys how to do that. So let's build some refineries. Refinery. Here we go. So I would like to have a walkway, so that'll be piping. Maybe we'll keep that open. So we could do something. It makes more sense because I'm going to be bringing the outputs this way. So let's just look at the recipes. We're going to do plastic from crude oil, 30 per minute on crude oil, 20 plastic per minute, 10 heavy oil residue. We're going to have 2 refineries running that recipe. Then we're going to have 2 running the rubber recipe, which is 30 crude oil, generating 20 rubber, 20 heavy oil residue. So cool. Those are all set. Then the last one is going to be residual fuel, which takes 60 heavy oil residue and gives you 40 fuel per minute. Now, right at this point, I don't have a way to store a large amount of fuel. So, in its liquid state, that is. So, we're just going to set up some boxes, meaning some fluid buffers or fluid containers, whatever you want to call it. And these are going to have fuel inside of them just to allow our plastic and such to spool up. Basically, I need 200 plastic made from this system in order to support the... In order to get the research, I need to put fuel into the loading station and into containers and stuff. So we should have enough room with that many containers storing fuel, hopefully. Okay, let's go. So we need to do piping. Whoops. So I'm just going to connect all of these into the same port because it's all the same material and we're ultimately going to be... Oh, wait. Did I do that right? Fuel... That's the input, which is good because we actually want this to go in there. Then we don't need this pipe. So these machines perfectly feed this machine, which then stores its output in these containers. So that's how we want that set up. Not a big deal. I just kind of forgot that we weren't storing the purple oil or whatever you use to make fuel with the recipes I have. So that's fine. The heavy oil residue, I'm not storing that. I'm just direct converting it into fuel is what I'm doing. So there's the fluid side of that done. I need to power these machines. And I am going to use a tier 2 power pole. I went ahead and unlocked... Oops. I unlocked tier 2 power poles with the Caterium research tree. And I built a little bit of quick wire just so I could potentially use some tier 2 power poles. It makes life a little bit easier sometimes. Like I connected all those refineries to one thing. So that's all the power for this done. So I have 2 plastic and 2 rubber, which I'd like to store over in this direction. And this is only going to be 40 a minute, so it's really just a small amount to get started with our rubber and plastic. We will need more of these materials eventually, so it's kind of like I plan on changing this and expanding this location to process more of the material because I'm going to need it to automate some of the more advanced materials that are built with plastic, that are built with rubber. But for the time being, that's fuel. That's supposed to be the output box. But I kind of want some buffer where I sort. Like I have the rubber and stuff being sorted. So we are going to connect these into their own respective buffer boxes. And like the trucks don't really need to come through here. So I am not that worried about it. Just trying to figure out how to make it look halfway decent. I don't know. I could have just like soft clipped it and said it doesn't matter. But I don't know. Try to make this look decent. Because these boxes are likely going to stay. Meaning what I'm going to do with these is use them to hold all of the plastic and rubber that we're generating. So there we go. Those are all built. Break that pole on these just so it's easier to walk around. Doesn't actually matter. But cool, we got plastic, rubber, coming out. Great. Then there's fuel that'll come into here. All I gotta do is connect the oil and we should have our refineries running. Great. Whoops. I meant to put that at a height 2. Okay. That should be our factory running. Now I probably want to put a pipeline on that. Just because I figure, yeah, this needs a little bit of head lift in order to supply this pipe. A-okay, not a big deal. I have been trying to color code the pipes. So this color is oil, crude meaning crude oil. I think I did set up a color scheme for fuel. Yeah, I did. I think I was using this for fuel. And Oil Base 1 is the name of this station. I didn't change the name of the station on the other end quite yet. I guess I should set up a thing for the sludge, or actually I can just use this color. That works. This is kind of a purple material, but that's the color it is in the game. I don't know if heavy oil is actually purple in real life. That'd be kind of interesting to find out, but yeah, not a big deal. Just try to keep all your fluids sorted is kind of the concept I have with this. It may not matter that much. I mean, as long as I know where I can pick up my items and it's fairly easy to get to, I'm not that concerned. But there we have it. We have a basic refinery setup for oil. We're taking in 120 crude oil per minute, and that is being split into 4 refineries. 2 of the refineries are running the plastic recipe, generating 20 plastic per minute and 10 heavy oil residue per minute, and requiring 30 crude oil per minute. So that's 2 of those for 60 total to make 40 plastic. Okay. Then on rubber, we have 2 refineries making 20 rubber and 20 heavy oil residue per minute apiece. So that's 40 rubber, 40 heavy oil residue at the price of 30 crude oil per minute for each. So 60 crude oil gives us our heavy oil residue and 40 rubber per minute. The plastic also generates 20 heavy oil residue. The total of 60 heavy oil residue in this pipe is then sent into our fuel factory, which is generating 40 fuel per minute at the price of 60 heavy oil residue per minute. So we're feeding this with the exact amount it needs to run. So we get 40 fuel per minute in addition to our 40 plastic and our 40 rubber a minute. So it's a perfect split on that in the sense of we should have the same amount of rubber as we have plastic, which is great. Once we get the package and fluid alternative fluid transport milestone unlocked, then we can package the fuel, put it into this container, and we can use this container now, I suppose. I'm going to grab the rubber. I'm going to grab the plastic. Plastic I'm going to keep on me for the time being, just because I need it, but I just kind of want to test this. So rubber goes in. Great. And I'm using both belts off of one box. So as long as I feed this with only one belt, this will ensure the box gets emptied faster than I can fill it. I'm just doing that for myself because it might be useful to not have. I don't really want this buffer box full. I want it to empty. If I put stuff in, I want it to go into the truck station. And this is set to load. That's what I want it set as, because when the trucks come in, they're going to drive down this ramp. They're going to come down here. They're going to load up with items and fuel. Then they're going to go back to the home base, unload those items, and then do that on loop. Pretty easy to set that up. I'm going to do that in between episodes probably. But there you have it. We have 40 plastic a minute and 40 rubber a minute being built. It required a total of 4 refineries to build the plastic and rubber, then a 5th refinery to deal with the waste processing. It's not really even waste, it's generating fuel. So we have another 40 fuel per minute being made, which is great. That's enough to run our trucks off of. That's maybe enough for us to run a jetpack off of once we get a little bit further down the tech tree. But yeah, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here today. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always. And until next time, this has been Lone Debater 7, and we will see ya.